Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We just had a huge move on Tesla, which has triggered some um, other pretty interesting moves in some EV companies we've been following, like Rivian, Neo, Lucid, Xpeng, and Build Your Dreams. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about and kind of sorting out which EV company seems like the best investment at the moment. So we've got a whole lot of things to look at. But with that being said, I would appreciate it if you guys like this video and subscribe, because I am trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and so far we're at a pretty good we're on a pretty good pace to do that. So I would appreciate that a lot, because at 1,000 subscribers you do get monetized. That is a YouTube creator, so it'd be really cool. But with that being said, let's talk about what has been going on with Tesla. So we can see a massive downtrend recently, and everyone knows about this. Everyone's saying Tesla is totally just going to fall down to $100. We actually chose this price range in a previous video where we wanted to buy Tesla at. So anywhere from 127 about to 113, maybe high 112s. So there is some interesting things going on in the market where we see Meta currently down a whole lot, and that is down, I believe, let's find it. Meta is down 11% on the day, while Tesla is up, it's up, I think 2%, it's up 3% today, but it also was up 13% yesterday. So some pretty crazy things happening with earnings. Let's talk about that. So Tesla reported that they missed earnings, yet for some reason the stock went up about 15%, actually 16% now, combining yesterday and today's move. Now we also see Meta, which is down 12% today about, and they beat expectations. I was going to say missed. They beat expectations. So they reported very positive earnings, yet they are currently down. So some pretty odd things happening in the market, but we're just focused on EV companies right now. We see basically every other EV company in this similar downtrend, and very recently we saw Fisker get completely delisted, which wasn't too great for other EV companies, because although that means less competition, depending on what Fisker decides to do, if they want to keep operating or not, it also means that a lot of investors are kind of losing hope in these purely EV related stocks. So it is pretty interesting to see what these other stocks are doing regarding these recent events. We see Rivian is in a downtrend, Lucid is in a downtrend. Build Your Dreams is actually doing very well. If we look at their EPS, they are expecting a little bit lower EPS than what we've seen in the last year, but it was the same thing as Tesla, where Tesla was expecting lower EPS, so anything could happen when they report earnings, and that's coming up really soon, of course. Um, so, with that being said, basically everything's in a downtrend, but the key things we're looking for are companies that are kind of turning around. What can we expect to outperform the rest of these EV companies? So my personal favorite is of course going to be Rivian. We do have earnings coming up, and EPS is expected to be pretty good. Um, but the thing is, the option volatility, so the implied volatility for this earnings is expecting a 20% move. So the stock could either go to $10 or to around $6, which would be, if it went to $6, would be pretty detrimental for the stock. So we're really hoping that Rivian ends up beating earnings. So with that being said, why do I think Rivian is going to outperform these other stocks? There's also a couple others we're going to be talking about, but what do I think Rivian will do the best? It's for a couple reasons. Number one, they've got some solidified clients which other EV companies do not. They have DHL they just made a deal with where they'll deliver probably around 80,000 vans, because that's what they did with Amazon. They've got Amazon, of course, which they are delivering 80,000 electric vans by 2026. I'm not sure when all the DHL vans will be out by, but we can assume it'll probably be around 2026. Now they've also released tons more models, and that's what these other EV companies have not been doing recently. We saw Lucid announce a new SUV. Lucid, I do think, is not going to do too well, at least in the next couple of months. Where is that? Right here. So Lucid is also in a downtrend. It's nearing $1, which is pretty crazy. It's taken the worst hit out of probably any EV company, where we saw just earlier this year. If we go to the 1 year and kind of go all the way back here, we see it's at $8. Lucid did announce a new SUV, and EPS is looking pretty good, so it could turn around from here, but it's going to take a long time to get back into, the $4, $5, $6, or $7 range. Whereas Rivian has all these customers already, all these guaranteed companies they're working with, as well as many new models with a lot of course, public retail customers, that it's looking pretty good for them. As long as they can stick their earnings, get back into this consolidation channel, it's looking pretty good for Rivian. Now, some other EV companies, some notable ones to go over would be NIO. NIO is not really collaborating with any US-based companies or any big companies like DHL or Amazon. So it's more just for the public. Now, I have looked at some reports talking about how do Chinese people think about, what do they think about NIO as an EV company, because right now investors are pretty much not touching it. No big money has gone into it in a while, so I was curious, what do, these retail people think about NIO? And so, because of course, at this point we're relying on I'm just kind of using a retail as a word, like retail traders. We're looking at the general public to kind of give us the best idea. So with that being said, NIO actually in a survey they did looks better in the public's eye than their rival XPeng or XPEV. Um, but honestly, from what I saw is that it's more just the name than anything, because it's not dominating the market at the moment. It's more that people just think it's cool, but aren't actually willing to buy the vehicle. Whereas apparently the Xpeng name means small bird in in China, and for some reason it's a little more looked down upon than NIO. So we're expecting just from that NIO could probably be better according to the public. Now they are doing some stuff with battery swapping that no other company is doing. They released a hypercar called the NIO EP9. That's pretty cool. Whereas Xpeng has not released any super or hyper electric cars as of now that I know of. They probably are working on that sort of stuff. Build Your Dreams, another Chinese-based company, has released a hypercar recently, and that's looking like it's going to sell out and be pretty competitive with other brands. So Build Your Dreams has already solidified itself as one of the main EV companies. It is currently the best performing one in terms of sales. So I think Build Your Dreams is definitely a great investment, but it's probably not going to do some crazy numbers like what we could see Rivian do in the next 5 or 10 years, where Build Your Dreams could maybe double in price, um, or double in value market cap, while Rivian could possibly go up all the way like to maybe tripling its market cap and stock price, maybe quadrupling depending on the next few earnings. It's all about the next few earnings and how much money they're really burning through. So with that being said, I do think Rivian stands the best chance, especially just because of those solidified customers. However, it's really uncertain at the moment. Lucid could potentially do pretty well, but it's burnt through a lot of cash, so I'd say Rivian has the best chance as of now. This could all change soon, depending on what we see from this earnings, but from the information I have currently, I'd bet most of my money on Rivian in the EV space. So yeah, with that being said, thank you guys very much for watching. I would appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, and have a great rest of your day.